We don't view marijuana as this harmless substance, but in fact, our experience tells us that it is anything but that.
Minnesota's law enforcement is standing strong against efforts to legalize medical marijuana. Thank you for joining us tonight. A compromise deal to legalize medicinal cannabis for some patients has just cleared another committee in the House today.
Tonight, our investigation into the cannabis question reaches ahead as Valley News Team's Hope Hanselman sits down with one of the groups that Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton has said must approve the law before he does. She joins us now. Hope, why are they so strongly opposed?
Well, Mike, they're worried this bill will lead to legalized recreational use, and access for teens especially will get out of control. I sat down with that organization to learn more, a conversation that felt defensive.
If I were an elected official, you're darn right I'd want to support law enforcement.
The Minnesota Peace and Police Officers Association was a major player in former Governor Pawlenty's veto of the marijuana bill in 2009.
We know it to be addictive. We know it to be a gateway drug. And we are very, very concerned about going that direction in our state.
Executive Director Dennis Flaherty says his agency has spent the majority of the year testifying against these bills, time he'd rather spend lobbying legislation that would better the community and benefit his officers.
I know the proponents want to dismiss that and pretend that there are no problems with marijuana. And that's just simply not true.
So we wanted to know if enforcing illegal marijuana was benefiting them.
Absolutely not. That is a myth and a total, actually very irresponsible that anybody would suggest that law enforcement profits out of marijuana busts.
Flaherty says Minnesota police departments have used a tactic called asset forfeiture since the 1980s. That's where police can auction off or keep the firearms and items seized in drug busts.
It has been a very effective tool, not the only tool that law enforcement has, but an important one to deal with people heavily involved in drug trafficking, drug sale, that type of thing.
Even so, Flaherty denies forfeiture has anything to do with their opposition to the bill.
The number of marijuana busts that are done, in the scheme of all of drug enforcement is very small.
The number of busts may be small, but the amount of money involved can be huge. Last summer, Minnesota law enforcement made one of their biggest seizures in years, a $4.1 million pot-growing operation near Hinckley. But state data doesn't differentiate marijuana busts from others, so it's not clear what impact they have on departments.
Any monies, revenues that may be generated through forfeiture are just used to pay the salaries or getting further tools to focus on the problem.
But wait, didn't he just say the opposite?
Actually very irresponsible that anybody would suggest that law enforcement profits out of marijuana busts.
These officers say they're in the safety business, and because marijuana is the most widely abused controlled substance in the state, they're not convinced safety is what we'll get.
We may win and we may lose, I don't know, but for sure, if it's passed, the state will be the losers.
Some proponents say this idea of forfeiture is even more important to police departments as federal funding for drug task forces is dwindling. But Flaherty says that's not their concern.
Hope, is there any chance that law enforcement will get on board with this?
They have all agreed they want more research into oils, pills, and vapor. They don't want to see anyone getting better by, or feeling like they're getting better by smoking this plant. And that's in that compromise bill, which lawmakers say is likely to pass.
Nice job on all 4 stories this week. And if you'd like to see any or all of them, you can by going to our website at valleynewslive.com.